I want to bring in one of the chief advocates on behalf of working and middle-class families. Congressman Tom MacArthur joins me now. Morning, Congressman. How are you?
Good morning, Bill. I don't know if I have anything to add. I'm just listening to you clarify this. You know what it is? I think people are afraid of change. I get that. And you're right. People are whipping up fear based on this or that loophole. The problem with our tax code is it's a high tax system with a lot of loopholes. And every time new loopholes have been created over the last 30 years, the rates go up for everyone else.
That's exactly right.
So we have to get this simplified and then bring rates down, and people will see their actual tax bill come down in this state.
Well, there are little things, like I'm looking at this, like repeal of the enhanced oil recovery credit, repeal of the credit for producing oil and gas from marginal wells. Things like that, you would think that the normal detractors, the people that are out there screaming about corporate welfare, would say, hey, that's a pretty good deal. I thought the Republicans were only about the oil and gas companies. And you start to drill into this, and you really find some interesting stuff. And I want to ask you this, and actually two questions. One, do you have a second to hang around for this through this break? Because I have some specific questions about the bill for you. That I think will clear some things up, but I'm going to run against the clock. But I want to ask you real quick. It looks like the high bracket, the 39% bracket, am I right that doesn't kick in until $1 million of joint filers?
Yeah, that's a really important point. It does kick in 39.6%, same rate as today, but today that rate kicks in at $400,000. The new bill, it kicks in at $1 million. That's why even
big deal.
People that make $400,000-$600,000, that hasn't been the focus. But that's why even people at that higher tax that higher income level, even though they're losing some deductions, they're paying tax at lower rates all the way up the ladder, and so their tax bill will go down too. And then the people that really are in focus here. Working families, middle-class families, their rates are going to come way down. They're going to get a doubling of the deduction, up to $24,000 per family, a child tax credit that's going up, a credit which we haven't had before, a credit for taking care of an elderly parent. All of these things are family-friendly. They're going to be good for New Jersey. And we haven't even talked about corporate rates and what that means for a state like New Jersey with a high concentration of businesses. And what I want to talk about on the other side is the real scare tactic they're using about, A, the deficit, and B, the loss of the part of the deduction on real estate taxes, because under what you fought for, your real estate taxes up to $10,000 are still going to be deductible. And the average cost, as I understand it, in New Jersey is about $8,900. So that means most of New Jersey, what's that? $8,400. Correct you, and in my district in South Jersey, it's actually less than $6,500.
So they're going to get it all back.
That's a $400 billion benefit over 10 years for people with higher property taxes.
It's huge. All right, if you can, just hang on the line. I'll be right back, and I just want to make sure we clarify for everybody what this really means to them, because I think this is going to be a windfall for a lot of people working hard to pay the bills. Thank you, Tom. All right, it's Congressman Tom MacArthur. We'll be back on the other side. I'm joined by Congressman Tom MacArthur, who is one of the reasons why this new tax reform bill is, I think, going to have a very, very good chance of passing and becoming law before the end of the year. One of the big sticking points was the real estate tax deduction. Now, I've made the argument that I would support this tax reform even if that deduction was eliminated. But according to reports, the counselor to the president, my friend Kellyanne Conway, said this the other day, maybe yesterday it was reported, that the president is indifferent on that. He'll go either way on that, which means he'll sign either version that comes his way. But Tom MacArthur is one of the guys that really championed making sure that stayed in. And now that it's at $10,000, if this is the version that passes, I can't think of a bad scenario for any middle-class family in New Jersey under this bill. Congressman, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you, Bill. I am fighting to make sure it stays, and I've made it clear to leadership they can't do a bait and switch here.
Right.
We got this property tax deduction put back in, and I'm insisting it stay in. And I have to tell you, I'm not trying to blow my own horn here, but I was very gratified to hear Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, say 2 days ago in New Jersey that nobody in Congress had done more to restore the property tax deduction than me.
Yeah.
And I know there were just 2 or 3 of us fighting that fight from New York and New Jersey, and I'm really grateful that he acknowledged it. It's a great result for the people of New Jersey. The vast majority are under 10,000.
Right.
And even those who are above, most of them weren't taking advantage of that deduction anyway because they were getting trapped in the alternative minimum tax.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Tom. This is what drives me crazy. Even people that are paying $15,000, $18,000, $20,000 a year in taxes, we're not getting that benefit because the minute you take the deduction, boom, they stick you with the AMT and you're done. It wipes it out almost entirely.
It's the very first add back. The very first thing you lose in the AMT calculation is deductions for state and local taxes. Right. I looked, Bill. I looked at my own tax return over the weekend, and it's the very first line. It's the very first thing you lose. So, look, this is a good deal for New Jersey families, for New Jersey individuals. It's great for New Jersey businesses, and in a high business concentration state like ours, where we have a lot more businesses per person than a lot of states do, this is going to keep a lot of money in our state.
Yeah. How about the Democrats? How many Democrats do you think come on board with this? Because you've got. Think so. You don't think you're going to get any?
No. I mean, I'm meeting with a Democrat today who's made some moves and seems interested, but they are, I think, in lockstep. They don't want this going forward. You know, look, some of it maybe they feel strongly about it, but when I hear people trumpeting how this is going to add to the deficit, come on.
Yeah, it's not true.
The last 8 years, the deficit doubled under Democratic control.
That's right.
This bill is going to drive growth, and I hear people complaining about how unfair the $10,000 deduction is. That's the same limit in New Jersey, Bill.
That's exactly right. People don't realize that.
If it's so offensive, why hasn't the other party lifted that limit in the New Jersey tax?
And not only that, but you've got a governor coming in, Phil Murphy, that is promising to tax millionaires. The reality is this tax bill puts more of the burden on people making $1 million or more. So it would. You could almost say the Democrats could have written the same thing for Jersey. They'd support it if their guy pushed it.
Well, I think so. And look, I'd love to see taxes come down for everyone, but I don't think anyone is shedding a tear for somebody making $1 million.
No.
This bill is focused on middle-class families, working families, because that's where the growth in our economy is going to come from.
Yeah.
You give people another $500 or $1,000 a year, they're not going to stuff it under their mattress.
That's right.
They're going to invest, they're going to spend, and that's what's going to get our economy going.
Well, I want to congratulate you. I think I watched it. I think you did an outstanding job with Ivanka Trump and Secretary Mnuchin. I think the conversation was clear. The points were made really well. You've been a real champion on this, and I just want to see it get done before the end of the year. So please keep me posted as this is happening. I want to give people the update as it's happening, because other than a few loud detractors who are talking about partisan talking points about the debt, the reality is 70 to 90% of New Jerseyans are going to see an enormous benefit with this, and I think this is in the category of a must-have before the end of the year. So thanks for your leadership on this, Congressman. You're doing great.
Yeah, Bill, and you said 90%. Actually, our own analysis shows that 92% of people in New Jersey will see a tax cut with this bill.
It's clear in the numbers. All right. Well, thank you. Keep fighting and keep me posted.
I will do.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. That was Congressman Tom MacArthur.